future footprint of Auckland Port going forward. And, you know, it is extremely difficult to look out, you know, not just, you know, for 50 years, but even just 10 years of what may be just around the corner. So.
Yes, and your observation's right on the mark. Actually, the existing plans include consideration of automation options of that kind. And I think one of the debates is really around what's the long run productivity potential from those technologies. So it's not a question of whether they're adopted. I think the assumption is that over time, best available technology will be adopted, but what will they do on that side?
Yeah. Councillor Cooper? Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess my questions are around, I mean, the whole issue, this is not about profit. I mean, profitability is absolutely important, and I'm pleased that the profitability has increased dramatically since being one of the assets of this council rather than the former ARC. However, this whole issue is around local effects.
Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair.
So he's not here.
That's not fair.
We're not going to get the history of the nabbies. So for me, it's been about local effects. That's what all this has been about, is about local effects. But I suppose my question is if we're looking at other places, there will be local effects and significant local effects, and particularly on the environment, where the current port is in a very busy area anyway. It's highly modified. So the changes actually are really minor here. But any other place you go to, for example, Muriwai, it's a surf beach. But I guess what I wanted to know is, are those the kind of effects, because you can get down to a short list, but you've got to know how much it's going to cost. We've talked about that. But we've also, I think it's very difficult to shortlist without saying, well, actually, here are the hurdles we'll have to get over in the RMA. Public notification, all of those issues, where you might get down to one, and then in the end, it's never going to fly because it'll never pass the environmental, traffic, noise effects, you know. And so that's something I'm wondering, when you deliver the shortlist or the preferred option, will it actually be something that could actually become possible in a reality? Are you going to go down to that level of detail? Because I'm really concerned we go through this whole thing and then we come, here's the one that we think's feasible, but it'll never pass the test.
I mean, if we exclude for the moment the option of operating the port on its current footprint, which might be feasible, but let's see. We have 4 options: expand into the harbour or go somewhere else. I don't think any of those options will easily jump the kinds of hurdles that you're asking me about, and I think we really have to look forward to the long-term future and say, you know, is Auckland really going to grow? Is Auckland really going to be the leading city in a trading nation? Are we going to provide for freight services, and how are we going to provide for those services? And I think that's the problem that we face. There is no attractive solution here.
No, and I guess, Madam Chair, we've got to ask those questions in every location. And I was just talking to Councillor Webster about this. Well, maybe we'll get a North Western busway, and maybe we'll get the train going out beyond Swanson if we had a port. So there might be some advantages, because we will not, at the current way things are, one more truck can't even fit on that North Western motorway, so without decent public transport. But the other issue is, if we, are you looking at those, what is the infrastructure required, and I guess some sort of indicative costings for each option?
Yeah.
Not just for freight, but to actually accommodate everybody that lives around that area, the local effects.
Yeah, let me... yes, the freight options, the transport options are being costed. Where other impacts can be brought into an economic benefit cost analysis, that is being done. Otherwise, they're being picked up in the multi-criteria attribute analysis. I should probably add that the current port, I think, has agreed to be able to expand with relatively limited extensions to around 2 million TEUs per annum, about twice what it is today. So there is a little time here. Yeah. But there's a long time to make decisions and to build a port too. And as
sorry, Madam Chair, I just want to put this in context. our elected colleague in the Waitakere Rangers Local Board, Sandra Coney, said, it's been a port since pre-European times, and the name of our festival this year was Te Waka Herenga, which I'm told, and please be corrected by our OMSB members, is the place of 1,000 moorings, and that's pre-European. So it is something that, you know, we've lived with for a long time, a port in our midst. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, well, we've got the two recommendations to receive the verbal update and to receive the background report.
Happy to move.
Happy to move. Councillor Lowe, seconded Councillor Watson. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. I'm just going to call a 5-minute adjournment, members, and then we will be back. So we'll be back at 23 minutes.